Hello Runeterrans, and hopefully welcome back. Today, Riot gave us 6 new cards from the upcoming Beyond the Bandlewood expansion, including a new keyword, so we are going to start with that. The new keyword is Impact. It says, when this strikes while attacking, it deals 1 to the enemy nexus. This keyword can stack. Now, there's a couple of things to take away here. First and foremost, obviously only happens when it attacks, so if you block with the unit, you don't trigger Impact in that regard, but when it's attacking, it will trigger if it strikes the enemy nexus or if it just strikes by being blocked. Now, if your opponent blocks you and then sacrifices their unit with something like Glimpse, for example, well, then it doesn't strike anything and that part gets turned off. So really like the design of this because it's rewarding you for being aggressive. It's also a very good plunder enabler. We can see this Poro on the screen, this ProtoPoro. Got Freljord as one of the regions. That's one of the regions that cares about plunder, so I like it in that regard as well. The fact that it can stack is something to keep an eye on as well, because while we have not yet seen in today's reveals, I know it's a bit of a spoiler, letting you down, we haven't seen anything that grants impact. We do know that at a bare minimum, somebody like Zoe, for example, would give us a way to stack impact. If you level up Zoe and then you play multiple units with impact in a row, they're going to keep granting impact to your entire squad. And that's honestly pretty scary. So with that being said, we are going to move on to the next graphic. ProtoPoro, this is the one that was on the screen before, just a 1-cost 1/1 Poro with the impact keyword, has the Bandle City region and the Freljord region. So for the most part, pretty standard Poro stuff. It's a 1-cost 1/1. It's got 1 keyword, you know the drill. Now, that being said, Poro Sled is not a 1-cost Poro. Poro Sled here is an outstanding card, and I would play this probably even if it didn't have the Poro tag, but the Poro tag is very relevant. So Poro Sled is a 5-cost 5/5, does have the Poro tag. It is also in Freljord and Bandle City. It has the impact keyword, and it says attack, summon an attacking random 1-cost Poro. So without even talking about the Poro tag and the synergy that that brings to the table, this is a 5-cost 5/5 with a relevant keyword that also summons what is likely going to be another 1/1 when it attacks. This is like a very big Elise. It's like a mid-range Elise where you've got good stats on a body that summons a 1/1 when it attacks and has a relevant keyword. Now, obviously, Elise is the spider tag and Elise is a champion and does other things, but this here is, I think, a very solid, aggressive, attack friendly card. And then you talk about the Poro tag. So why does the Poro tag matter? Well, if you're playing this in a Poro deck that's running snacks, a single snacks makes this a 5-cost 6/6 that summons a 2/2 when attacking, and it only goes up from there. So all of the stuff that buffs your Poros, they do in fact also buff this and the unit that is going to be created when it is attacking. And that's a pretty big deal because this is permanently creating that unit. This is not an ephemeral Poro that gets created when the Poro Sled attacks. You just get an extra Poro. And so this is a pretty big deal. Now, the last thing I want to highlight is it is a random 1-cost Poro. And this is something in the Bandle City region. Obviously, we know about the new tree alternate win condition that cares about the regions you have summoned. And so this gives you a way to potentially randomly summon units. And again, that tree only cares about things summoned, not played. So it doesn't have to come from hand. This is a great way for you to potentially knock off a region or two by getting some attacks in. Even if you don't get the damage in, you're progressing your tree win condition as well. So overall, love the design here. Really big fan of Poro Sled, but we've got 4 other cards to cover. So we're moving on, and we're gonna move on to StoneStackers. This is a 2-cost 2/2 Yordle, only Bandle City, but it has 2 keywords. It has the tough keyword and the impact keyword. Now, I like this as a nice, just vanilla aggressive option. It's a 2-cost 2/2 with 2 keywords. Now, in the past, you know, we've seen with the Elite, for example, a 2-cost 2/2 with a single keyword, even with a tag that was relevant like Elite, was not really good enough to see play. We'll have to wait and see whether impact is enough to push this over the edge into playability. Part of me thinks that it might be because, again, impact is a great way to trigger plunder. It gives you, in many ways, kind of that crack shot Corsair effect, but I think we're going to have to see more pieces of the puzzle before we can truly judge this card. Now, we also have Arena Kingpin here. This is a 3-cost 4/2. It is a Yordle that is in the Noxus region and Bandle City, and it just has quick attack. Outside of this being a multi-region card, I don't really see the benefit of this. Now, obviously, if you're playing the tree win condition, you want to include this because just playing it satisfies one of the regions that you may not have had yet. But other than that, it's just not very good. It's a 3-cost that dies to Mystic Shot and a number of other effects, and it doesn't give you anything when it comes into play. And while the quick attack is nice and the 4 attack is nice, we're not excited about this card. We'll put it that way. So I think that this might find a home in the tree decks if you are really hurting for ways to find the Noxus region, but we're not probably playing this in other lists. Next up, we have Treasured Trash. This is a 10-cost slow spell from Bandle City. It says fill your hand with random cards. They cost 0 and are fleeting. You can only play 3 more cards this round. Now, this is really interesting because, again, if you're on the tree win condition, this could be a very good way for you to hit some of the regions you have not yet played. But this is a very expensive effect for only being able to play 3 cards. Now, they do all cost 0, so you're going to get your pick of the litter, but you've got to really make some good choices at that point, and I don't know whether or not this is going to be good enough to make it into a tree list. If it does, it's probably like as a panic button 1 of. I don't think we're going to be finding players like Racing to 10 to play this because it's not like a long-term benefit. We all looked at like Glorious Evolution, for example, and we went, maybe it's a little slow, but that's like a permanent for the rest of the game benefit that you can then use and abuse. With this is just kind of like I need stuff that's not in my deck, and we're willing to pay a premium to get there sort of card. So that's it for Treasured Trash. I really, unless there's other things that we just have not seen yet, I really think that this is maybe a top end for the tree deck, and that's about it. I don't think we're going to see this very often. We do, however, have Hidden Pathways next, and this is a card I do expect us to see very often. This is a 5-cost burst spell in Bandle City, and I know my head is covering it, but it says it costs 2 less this game if you've created 2 or more cards this game. And the other part, as you can see when I move my head, is just draw 2. So this is a 5-cost draw 2 that becomes a 3-cost draw 2 if you've met the condition. Now, this is a condition where you have to create the cards, but this is very easy to hit. Again, a single Chump Wump satisfies this. Ballistic Bot being on the board for 2 turns satisfies this. This is a very relevant effect that you will be able to trigger, and we already know that we are willing to pay 3 at burst speed to draw 2 cards. We've done it in the past and we'll continue to do it. So we like this card. I think this is a really solid card. I'm a little bummed out that it's just Bandle City here, I'm not gonna lie, but I suppose at some point we need to see just Bandle City cards that are also good enough to make you want to play that as one of your 2 regions. So like, I get it, and we're probably going to see some more cards like this in the near future, but I am a little bummed because I can think of a few other decks I would love to jam this into. But that's it for the reveals today. If you made it this far, I appreciate you. Want to give you a quick heads up. I'm going to be traveling tomorrow, so there likely will not be a video tomorrow. There will be cards revealed, but I won't be able to get to it until Sunday. And then Sunday's video may be a little bit late because I'm also playing in the Grand Prix for the Riot League Partner Program. And so I probably won't be able to do any recording until I'm done with the tournament, done with the event. So anyway, if you made it this far, I appreciate you. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon. Not tomorrow, but soon. And until next time, may you walk on warm sands.